Everybody's saying that they like my style. Wanna know how I do it? I smile. While you were out there saying hey, hi, hello, I was getting dressed up in shades of yellow.
Hello, welcome to episode 45 of the Lovely Job podcast. I'm Leah Spicer-Pownall, I'm the marketing manager of Miss Bush, and this is...
I'm Emma Marshall, I'm the MD of Miss Bush. So excited to have a guest on today. Also, I'm sure everyone else is very excited that we have a guest on, so they don't just have to listen to me and Leah. But I just want to introduce my guest just quickly before I get her to say hello. So our guest today is Chloe Keenan. I met her for the first time in 2016, where I had no say in choosing her as a model. She was basically given to me by Brides magazine. And I found out in conversation in Spain that the only reason that she got chosen for this bridal catwalk show is she fiddled around with her own model lookbook because her model agency were trying to make her look edgy, and she thought, I've just done some bridal and I look pretty good in that, so she slid a couple of wedding dress pictures of herself into her lookbook, and she was cast to do a fashion show for Brides magazine, and she was the absolutely shining light of that entire day. Our chapel had been flooded the previous day, so against all odds we got the team and dresses to London, and quite a lot of the models were quite difficult, shall we say. And Chloe wasn't difficult in the slightest. She was absolutely gorgeous, and I was like, this is it. And I ended up just chatting away to her, and that is the beginning of what now is a 9-year relationship. So I didn't know at the time that she had famously won her season of Britain's Next Top Model. I didn't know that she was a trained opera singer. I didn't know that she'd studied acting. I didn't know she was such a model / things. So may I introduce to the podcast today Chloe Keenan, polymath and beautiful human.
Thank you so much. And thank you for such a lovely introduction.
Well, I was just, obviously from bed this morning, just trying to kind of, with all of our really very disorganized pre-planning for the podcast, just going through Dropbox and just finding just how many photos I've got of you and how many times I've dressed you up and how many times I've either frozen you to death and I've had to run around with a blanket after you, or I've boiled you completely, or had you walking through woodlands. And there's been a lot of things that we've done, and it's always been quite chaotic. So it's just actually been really nice, particularly I think when we were in Spain, to get to be a bit calmer together.
We've had a lot of fun over the years, and so many amazing memories, actually. I think when I first met you, I couldn't have even imagined we'd still be working together even now, and had so many fun experiences. And I do feel like going to Barcelona a couple of months ago was just such a sort of a kind of pinch me moment, really, that we've sort of gotten this far and we're still work together, we're friends. And who would have thought that one job with Brides magazine would have led to all this, and now you're actually helping me with my own wedding, which is just
I know,
incredible.
too exciting. Too exciting. I kind of feel like this would say we've full disclosure here. So we're working with Chloe on her wedding, and I basically was like to JP, it's like, imagine how many times Chloe's worked for you, how many times that she's, worked for you from a trade point of view, because you've done their trade fashion shows as well, haven't you, in the UK? Done our Jesus Peiro designer days, and you're a big fan of theirs. So I was basically cheeky on your behalf, and I was like, you ought to be working with her on this wedding,
Well, thank you for that. I mean,
yeah.
I never really was the girl to kind of plan my wedding or, sort of think, oh, this is what I want. But I knew it had to be from Miss Bush, and it had to be Jesus Peiro as well. Just that sort of first time I went to the chapel, I just remember being blown away and thinking, wow, this is the wedding industry. I didn't even really know. Obviously I was very lucky to be the first kind of person to really work with the bridal, because you'll sort of set the bar, really. But I did have that sort of little feeling of, oh, if I ever did get married, this is where I have to come to get my dress. So yeah, it's a very sort of full circle moment.
Yeah, no, it's really good. So, I mean, so like obviously your husband to be, Prash, like obviously like doesn't know what you're wearing. So just in case everybody thinks we're giving the giving the game away here, do you know what I mean? It's I like, you know, you can't really have known Chloe and not seen the pictures of her in a wedding dress. So there are parts of this whole journey that it's not going to be that it's not going to be unusual to see in a wedding dress, but I just like, it was really unusual when we were in Spain and we were in Jesus Peiro's head office, and you were like actually choosing your dress. You and Marion and everyone really had a moment, didn't you?
We did. I mean, I think it was, I didn't really expect, I sort of accepted when I got engaged, oh, the dress might not be, the sort of dress moment might not be what, you know, brides dream of, that sort of say yes to the dress feeling. Because I thought, well, I've tried on so many dresses over the years, but I think it was just being in that situation, and it was just such an experience. And also, as a model, you don't get to say what you like really and what you don't like. You sort of wear what you're given. So actually being asked, like, what do you actually want, was obviously very different and quite hard to decide. But I think, I mean, what I've gone for, I just couldn't be happier with. And I feel like it's really me. And, you know, I did have a feeling of, should I go for something really different? No one's maybe ever seen before. But then I thought, well, no, I really want to go with what is me. And I feel like you and Marion really knew that as well, and just helped me find something that was, you know, my dream dress.
It's going to be, I mean, it's still going to be unique. It's not like exactly, it's custom. And I guess as well, also just before I go on, Marion told me that they're filming it being made, you know, like how they're using you as a Jesus Peiro muse. Yeah, so it's being like the room that we looked around where everybody was cutting and doing things, that's where it's being made, and they're gonna take footage of it actually coming together.
Yeah, I mean, seeing where the dresses are made and the whole process was just, it was mind-blowing really. I don't think, you know, maybe brides, you wouldn't know how much work actually goes into your dress, I don't think. And I feel so privileged to have had that experience, to see exactly each step and where my dress will be made is just really special. And I think, you know, the setup that Jesus have and its history and everything just makes it more special. It really is, you know, a unique dress and a unique sort of experience for me. I feel so honoured to have had it.
It is literally like something you can't, like, you just can't really get that experience. It is quite unique, I have to say. It is one of those things where I suppose that sometimes the access that I have to things I find quite normal, and then you just realise that that's not, like, regular brides don't jump on a plane with me, fly to Barcelona. And also that, so I also think that we have, for people listening right now, we have a lot of footage of the trip to Barcelona.
Yeah, I was just waiting to jump in and say I've been editing the video of the trip, and it's going to be it's a long video. It's going to be on YouTube, and there's going to be snippets of it on Instagram as well. But it's just lovely, and I actually felt emotional seeing the footage. I wasn't there, and I was just like, oh, like Chloe's getting married.
I'm emotional thinking about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I am obviously, but I was when I think about that day and everything, I sort of like, God. It was just, it's something I'll never forget. You know, people ask me about my wedding and my dress, and I'll be able to tell them the story of it all. And I do feel quite, a little bit smug actually as a bride. Such an experience.
I feel like that's all right. You know what I mean? I feel like you've had that, like, you know, you've definitely earned that, like, right, basically, because you know, and also, like, I mean, that it was for again, for listeners, what we did is we sort of flew out to Barcelona on a sort of Monday evening, and then went for dinner, and then we got picked up, after breakfast, and went to the 9:30 to the Jesus Peiro head office, which is actually, for anyone that's travelled to Barcelona, it's much closer to the airport than Barcelona city centre. So it's very close to El Prat, which is the airport of Barcelona. And then after which took quite a long time doing the dress, didn't we? And we were like, we had the tour, we had Charlie filmed that interview. I was interviewing outside that cafe.
Wow. And it smelt of chocolate, which
Yeah.
just an amazing, just to really put you in this scenario.
There's a like specialist chocolate producer right next, quite close to Jesus Peiro, and then we went to the most kind of idyllic beach restaurant, didn't we? And just sort of looked at the kind of like
my birthday.
Yeah, it was like a little birthday thing.
Yeah, there is a point in the video where you say, I felt like I was trying on a wedding dress for the first time. And when I saw that bit, I was like, that's just lovely that they were able to make you feel that way. Like after all this time of wearing wedding dresses, for you to actually feel like that is really special.
Yeah, I was overwhelmed by just how lovely everyone was, how kind Emma, Marion, Oscar at Jesus, and Merche.
And also and also like somebody that used to work for Jesus Peiro, Monica, now sort of runs a conference events company, and she got upgraded, and Chloe and I both had suites in this hotel. We were just like, mine was like a bungalow. Do you know what I mean? It was like,
it was bigger than most London flats, for sure. It was amazing.
Absolutely. Definitely bigger than my daughter's flat in London. Yeah. Like 2 bathrooms and things. So yeah, that was really nice. It's quite a bit celeb life I could get used to.
Such an experience. We had the best time. I absolutely loved it.
So we've actually got some questions for you, which we've got some actually from Marion, who is our Jesus Peiro agent. So Leah, do you want to structure the outline of this podcast by asking them in the right order?
Yes. So Marion has messaged, and she said to you, did you have a clear vision for your own dress, having spent so many years wearing bridal for work?
So I wouldn't say I knew exactly what I wanted. I knew that I wanted it to be that classic style that Jesus does, that sort of timeless look. That's what would inspire me. And I think I tried on a few over the years at Miss Bush, which I knew I really loved. So I did have a little bit of an idea, and I think I kind of know what didn't suit me, I would say, which was helpful. But I think I wanted to go for something that was very me, but also very Jesus. And I knew after seeing a few of the dresses on myself what would look good, and also just what would be a bit different as well. I've tried to go for something slightly different to maybe what people would expect, without giving anything away. I sort of was asking a few of my friends and have said to them, what do you think I'll wear? And they all sort of have said the same thing, which is actually not what I've gone for. So I think that's quite going to be like a little bit of a surprise for them.
Yeah. And have you looked back over images of yourself from our previous events and shoots and things to kind of reference and see what you like from the shoots?
Absolutely. So because we've done so many great events, I have such a backlog of images to look through, and there are a few dresses, one in particular which I'm not going to actually say because I think it might give away a little bit, but there was one dress I wore at a Miss Bush event, and it was absolutely stunning, and that did always stay in my mind, that dress. I sort of think, wow, I felt like that looked like a true bride, and how I would picture sort of like my dream sort of day to be. So there's been a few over the years by Jesus that I've absolutely adored. So looking back at the photos kind of gave me a reference, and I showed them to Emma and to Marion and said, look, these are kind of the ones that have always stayed in my mind. So something kind of that style would be what I would love to have.
That's really good. Not many brides would actually have that kind of backlog of images of themselves to look at. Actually, you've got your own mood board, like maybe.
No, it is quite interesting. But
just myself, gosh, how big.
Yes.
I know that is quite narcissistic. It's quite narcissistic, I suppose. But I was just interesting, though. I don't know if Leah's going to put out visuals of this recording, but you're sitting in a flowery dress against a kind of quite vintage design flower wallpaper. And you just had told us that somebody had come to fix a leak somewhere, said, I thought this was a granny's flat.
I thought there would have been an 80-year-old grandma living here. I thought, well, that's kind of rude. Thank you.
Can I just say that, like, given that my mum is in her late 80s, she's probably got the kind of house. She's got like a white, shiny oval table and grey leather sofa. So maybe that's what they were expecting. So, but I kind of think it was really interesting. Like, when I first met you, like, Leah and I had got a mood board together for the fashion show, and everything we thought we were going to put on you, we just kind of junked off. And I was like, that's just not right for her. And I've always had this kind of, like, I've loved working with you because you give me kind of like British costume drama heroine. You give me slightly quirky doll faced. You know, it's like I think, and I quite often use this as a sort of like reference point for actual real brides. Not that you're not a real bride, Chloe, you know what I mean? People that come in that I'm like looking at them like it's a casting sometimes, because it's actually quite an easy thing to do. It's like, I have never cast a model just on their body. It's always like face. What does their face say? What are they telling me? What do I see going with that? And it's been quite interesting with you as I was looking through the photos of you this morning. Some looks I've put on you which have been a complete dud. Some hairstyles haven't worked as well. Some have worked incredibly. I was just looking at that Ninfas shoot that we did, when I took you into the woodlands with everybody, and I love that look. Do you know what I mean? That was really good. And there's some other things where I've like, that one wasn't such a hit, was it? But like some of the quirky dull things where I put yellow eyeshadow. I didn't put yellow eyeshadow as somebody else did. Where it's, so some of the stuff you can go quite edgy with you, but it's got to have that sort of almost kind of, like almost a bit of a Helena Bonham Carter, like English eccentric part to it as well. So it's quite an interesting thing to, to look at someone and see how their face, their personality and what they choose for their wedding all kind of lines up. I mean, I couldn't have a bit like every time I just show, it's like, you're not having anything overtly sexy. No, just no. No.
That sort of look is kind of, as I got older and started modelling, I definitely felt like I leaned into it a little bit more and was more confident with it. Whereas I think when you're younger, you sort of try to fit in a bit. I used to put on fake tan with my friends and feel like I had to almost make myself a bit cooler, so to speak. But I do think, you sort of have to go with what you're given, and that kind of does seem to be the look where I fit a bit more. So I think, I've definitely felt more confident in it as I've gotten older. And I feel like it sort of does suit my personality as well, actually.
No, it really does. I mean, you look, incredible in swimwear, incredible in a kind of bodycon fishtail, all of those kind of things. You know what I mean? But it is the kind of difference between dressing yourself for yourself or just actually being a sort of paid body. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of the difference in it. But you've also done quite a lot of work with Eliza Jane Howell as well, haven't you? Who really specialises in quite a vintage look as well, which I think suits you.
Yeah, I mean, I love their style as well. They've got such a sort of rich history in the brand. So wearing their dresses is also amazing. I love that look, and I love styling it up. And I think they have some really amazing dresses that you can really style up in so many different ways as well. So that's been great, having the opportunity to model for them as well over the years. I've really loved it.
And do you want to, for the listeners, do you want to just give us a little bit of a kind of like, tell us how your wedding, where you're getting married, what it's going to look like, those kind of things. Give me a bit of a sort of overview.
Sure. So my fiance is originally from India, so we are going to have quite a few Indian guests coming, which is very exciting. And they're all going to be in quite traditional Indian clothing, which I'm so excited about, because I feel like it's just going to add so much colour and, vibrancy to the day. So the wedding is in Venice, which is actually where we got engaged. And my partner, Prash, he just loved Venice as a place. And when we were thinking of where to get married, he just had his heart set on it. And I was more than happy to go along with that idea. So we went to look at quite a few venues. We looked actually at where George Clooney got married, which was epic. But we found the Hotel Excelsior, which is on Venice Lido. And I knew from looking at photographs of it, I knew we would love it. And it was actually the last venue we went to see. So everyone we went to, Prash was falling in love with. He was like, this one, this is amazing. And I was like, just wait, we've got one more. And then when we got there, we both just looked at each other and we just thought, it's got to be this. I mean, it's on the Lido, so it's just got, it's right in front of the beach, which also gives a bit of privacy because Venice is very busy. So it's a venue that won't have loads of tourists going past all the time. And it's just got a sort of real mix of old and new, which I really love. It's just such a grand building and the decor is just to our taste. There's such a stunning ballroom, which will be the main area for the dinner and everything. So we just fell in love with it. We just loved the history of Venice, the culture there, and we just thought we could make something really special. So it's going to be a little bit of a mix of British, Indian and Italian. So it's going to be, a really fun. And I've really enjoyed planning the music actually, because I feel like music is such an important element of a wedding to me anyway. I mean, weddings that I've been to that have had live music and, instrumentalists and things, I just feel it makes such a difference. So that's something I really wanted to do with our wedding, is just have some live musicians. So that's been something I've really enjoyed planning and picking some of the repertoire. And then flowers make me a bit nervous after talking to Emma about them. So actually today I'm speaking to the florist after recording today. So I did originally have a plan, and then Emma made me very nervous about it because the colours probably would look like a cauliflower against the dress. And so I've decided to change the colour scheme up a little bit, which is also good because once I showed Prash references of what was possible, he said it looks so boring, he didn't like it. So now we're changing things up. So we're going to go a little bit more vibrant. But otherwise, I'd say things are ticking along nicely. Eliza Jane Howell are actually making my bridesmaids dresses, so I'm really excited. So I should be seeing those next week actually. So it's going to be something a bit different for them. And all my bridesmaids are so excited to have a dress by them for it. So it's going to be really lovely actually. So it's, Jesus and Eliza Jane Howell sort of feel like they're a real special part of my day. And obviously quite a lot of the team from Eliza Jane Howell are coming, and Marion's coming to the wedding. Obviously Emma and Marcia are coming. So it's going to feel like my little wedding family all there together. And I'm really looking forward to it.
I know, literally, it will be like, I'm so excited. I'm like, I've booked to stay at the hotel for like 4 days so that I can capture all the content as well. So,
Leah, we need you there. We need you there.
I'll be ready and waiting for the Dropbox to be filled with videos.
At least, yeah. So it's, I think it's, I'm quite pleased about that you're having another. It's not that I have, it's honestly me and white flowers, but I'm like, it's just not sometimes the best thing directly against a wedding dress. Do you know what I mean? And at the moment, I've even got like some white roses in my own kitchen because I am very Miley Cyrus. I can buy my own flowers. So I do like to have.
Me too, actually.
Me too.
I would drop hints to Prash, but I still end up buying my own.
Yeah. So I just always like flowers in the house. So I just get whatever's, I know this sounds bad and florists everywhere can hate me right now. I get whatever's cheap and looks good in the supermarket, basically. So it's never normally more than a £5 or a £10. Do you know what I mean? So I don't buy a lot of takeaway coffees and I don't do a load of other things. I no longer smoke. So I feel like buying a £5 worth of flowers a week is fine. But even the supermarket ones, I bought white and I'm like, they're not white. These are not white. Under no scanner, no AI would see these things as white. They are definitely cream or yellow or a different color, and I think that's my big problem with white bouquets. It's quite often next to the dress. They just don't. It doesn't honor the flowers. It doesn't honor the fabric of the dress. It doesn't often look nice against the skin tone of the bride. And if the bride's got any highlights or like blonde in their hair, then again, it usually throws that completely out. So that's why I would say, even if you want quite colourless, I would go for like the palest options of other colours rather than anything
I
white.
saw more bad than good examples of white flowers, and then I thought, it's one day, and it's not cheap, so you want to make sure that you absolutely love it. So yeah, just bringing in some color. I feel like it's going to look actually more vibrant in general. And I was looking on obviously all your past shoots, your latest shoot. I love the colors you use. So that was kind of what I was referencing to when I was looking for color palettes now, just all your previous arches.
Yeah, I mean, those are the good thing about those is we just let the florist off the lead basically, because which is very often they don't get that opportunity because people ask for the flowers they know the names of. So they ask for gypsophilia, they ask for roses, they ask for eucalyptus, because often nobody or a peony. Nobody knows any other flower names. So I'm quite often when they're putting the flowers up, I'm like, what's that? What's this? What's that colour called? Do you know what I mean? Because it's an education to me too. And just seeing that kind of like, that jaw-droppingness that we've always had to produce there as a statement of intent for the brand of Miss Bush, it is quite, it has, I don't think, we probably have done a white flower arch at some point.
We have, yeah. But it was a lot of green foliage in with it. It wasn't just pure white. There were just white flowers in with it.
Yeah.
So, I loved the Nymphus event when you had all the florals then. They were amazing. And you had the artwork on the mirror. I loved that whole setting. I thought that was just so striking.
It was like an overgrown, secret garden, wasn't it? I loved that.
Secret garden.
I know.
I loved
definitely spent too much money on events in the past. And also, this is what I was like twitching with Leah about the other day. It's like, I like to produce beautiful photos. And I think sometimes that like now, everything has to be so multifunctional that it just all seems like quite bitty. And I'm like, I want to slow it all back down and just get like the perfect frame or the perfect image or something. So, but it's not that is not the way of the world these days. So I'm assuming you've got an ace photographer booked as well for...
I do have a brilliant photographer booked. So he's actually, I've worked with him more in shoots. He's more of a fashion photographer, but he just has such a great eye, and he's also a fabulous person. His name is Horia Stan. So I've shot with him quite a lot of times now, and he's just got such a great energy. And when I asked him about shooting the wedding, he was so excited. And he's also shot at the venue before, which is really helpful. So he's shot the Venice Film Festival, because that's also something I didn't say. They do hold the Venice Film Festival at the Hotel Excelsior in Venice. So it is quite an iconic venue. And on the walls, there's photos of like George Clooney and all these big celebrities. So I think that was what made Prash really want to get married there, to be honest. So once he saw George Clooney getting off the boat, I think he, pictured himself doing the same. Horia has shot at the venue before. He's very familiar with it, and we had a discussion about what we could capture and everything, and he just had some brilliant ideas, and he's also just really easy and lovely to work with. I have to say that there's so many amazing wedding photographers, especially that I've worked with through you, Emma, and I sort of wish I could have everyone, because I think everyone's got such different, everyone's got a different eye and they capture different moments. But I know that Horia will also get on really well with Prash, who's, not used to having his photo taken. So, I think it's going to be a great.
I'm literally stalking him right now on my phone.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's just giving me... I think I'm really looking forward to this. Because we have a sort of obligation to Jesus Peiro to turn in good content as well, don't we? So it is kind of like important, yeah.
Oh, well, he's amazing. I can't praise him high, anymore. He is so great to work with.
Oh, exciting. Good to meet that. Yeah, I get a feeling suddenly that I actually probably will have to be... Will they be bringing an assistant, or am I going to be like running around and going, get this shot too?
So he is bringing a videographer with him who they work together all the time. So I said, do you want me to get somebody separate? And he said, to be honest, I'd rather bring my guy, because we work together a lot. And I think, they're a really good team. And I think that's important, because you do hear horror stories of photographers and videographers clashing. So I'd rather take his recommendation, and they will be bringing their assistant with them as well. But Emma, feel free to direct.
No, I'm literally off the hook. No, that's fine. I'm good.
Yeah,
I mean,
you have to
literally
enjoy the wedding.
I know, right?
To enjoy yourself. You've helped me
Yeah.
so much already. So you also feel free to just enjoy, you and Marshy, to just enjoy yourself.
I will be doing the bits that Leah likes, to put together. Well, I could be your content creator, except for with Leah back at home. I'll be like doing the bits and she'll be like content creating it. We'll have to have a little bit of a plan.
Yeah.
Creators are such a big part of weddings now, and I have thought, is that something I should do?
If you want one, I'll do it for you.
Lovely. Right, we'll talk.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I've got a question for you anyway. I'm going to say it before I forget. Since you're getting married in Venice, are you going to have to go in a gondola in your wedding dress?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. I do want to get the iconic gondola shot, even if it's cheesy. I love it.
Is this something that you took into account when you chose the dress as well, or is it you're just going to have to kind of...
I do think it'll look epic on a gondola, don't you, Emma?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, it's quite interesting because when Chloe and I first started talking about wedding dresses, it was Barcelona Bridal Week 2024. And at that point, there wasn't really a venue set up or anything. And at one point you were thinking about sort of northern Spain and outdoors and kind of like, the sort of like, lime trees and the sort of corridor kind of thing. So there was a different fabric thought about for the dress. I'm glad she says picking her words very carefully, but Leah could always edit out something that gives anything away. And then when it was like turned then into autumn, I mean, very early autumn, but autumn in Venice, and that kind of like that sort of like more sort of luxurious Rococo background, then I think the fabric changed. But I think again, it will look splendid. Do you know what I mean? I can't even I'm really picking my words really carefully here because you needed some sort of luxuriousness to go against the backdrops. It's not in any way casual, the backdrop.
Yeah. So the dress did change on the day once we were in Barcelona, HQ for Jesus, but it was just I'd pictured this fabric the whole time that we'd chosen in 2024, and then actually once we really had the venue and once we started thinking about the final idea, the fabric was kind of the last decision really. And I think I'm really happy we did go with something a little bit more luxurious, because I think it will fit the venue better. And even Merche, the designer, and the team there all agree. Everyone sort of was in agreement that it was better.
There was one really striking fabric that Merche got out, which was probably two way out for Chloe, and I was like,
it was amazing.
I was like, that one. It looked like, but it was basically a kind of moire taffeta with probably a bit of sparkle going through it or something. But it was looking like, right, like quite a lot of moire looks like bark or something, or like a sort of like wood grain. This looked almost like a sort of Hockney swimming pool, sort of like with kind of swirly patterns of like water in it, but with a sort of metallic thread. And I was like, I could see that for a film festival dress there, definitely.
Yeah, it did remind you of the ocean, and I did feel like, oh, it is different. Should I consider that? It's something I'd never really seen before. But then it was actually Marion then, he was like, Chloe, just be sure, go with what you want, kind of thing.
That would be so hard to photograph as well. Sorry.
Good point. But yeah, you could get caught up in the moment. But that fabric, if they make something with that, it would be epic for somebody.
Yeah, sometimes you see those fabrics and kind of on the screen, it just looks completely wiggly and blurry. You can't photograph it. It's difficult. So maybe you dodged a bullet there. If you were like in the back of your mind, like, oh, should I have had it? Like, maybe.
Yeah, I've honestly not had any second thoughts. I don't even look at wedding dresses because I just think I'm so happy with what I've got. I don't even, one of my best friends has just got engaged actually, and she's sending me through loads of photographs of dresses she likes. And so I'm like really enjoying kind of helping her with that. But I'm thinking, I haven't had any, what ifs. I'm just so like happy with my choice, and, it couldn't have gone better. So I'm not somebody that, is changing, going to change their mind or anything. I'm just so, yeah, it couldn't be better for me.
So
it's also bizarrely though probably not the last wedding dress you'll ever put on. Do you know what I mean? There's still going to be more modelling, isn't there? Do you know what I mean?
I was thinking, is this it now?
Oh, well, you could retire. You could hang it up. Oh, no, but you're still the...
Oh, no, it's like the final level. You've completed it now.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one more question for you, which was from Marion.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of people are going to be waiting to see what you wear. And does that make you feel nervous?
Yes and no. I think I have quite a few friends that work in fashion, and also just people that are intrigued, like, what on earth are you going to wear? You've worn so many dresses. So I do feel like there's a bit of an expectation. And I think even if it's not me, I think any wedding you go to, any friend, the talk is, what's the dress going to be like? That you two will mutter to each other before, the bride enters. So I think there's always that anticipation anyway, but I feel like it's kind of, times 100 with me, because most people have seen so many pictures of me in a wedding dress. So yeah, I think I know the dress. You couldn't say a bad word about it, in my opinion. And I've decided not to show it to anybody. I'm not even showing my family, my mum or my sister. Just want to keep it as a surprise. Because I sometimes think you can open something out to opinions and it might make you feel slightly disheartened. I don't know. But I absolutely love it. And I think, that's all really that matters. And I know that Prash will love it as well. I think I just kind of feel like it would be a style that he would love too. So
yeah, I think it is good, because I think you only need to have one like that from anyone else, and it's like it kind of unseats you. So I think that's definitely good. I tell you what is quite funny though, which is like there's quite a lot of casualness about this. So I know that JP are making this at the moment, so the dress is going to be delivered, I think, on or around the 28th, something like that. But there was a bit like when I said to Marion, it's like, an order confirmation or anything, just so we know. That's only just come through, like after it's started being made. And also, I've said to Rosie, probably ought to get like Chloe in the diary for some fitting. She's like, when's she getting married? I was like, October.
Yeah.
Do you know? Just like it's not in remotely a problem, but do you know what I mean? There is that sort of like casualness of like, oh yeah, probably ought to do something about that then, shouldn't we? And then Leah will be like,
I need some dates for that too.
I sort of feel like I should be more like, Emma, do you need me to book in or anything? But I just, sorry, I haven't been, I haven't said anything.
No, I know, I've been a bit like, I was like, Rosie's like, okay, what's the wedding date? I was like, well, it's 11th of October, but I think she might be leaving sooner. I don't know, maybe check.
I'm going to hassle you for dates because I'm going to be filming your final try-on. So kind of like a little sit down with you and Emma to talk about the dress and you seeing yourself in your actual fitted dress for the first time and kind of waving you off to go and get married. So we need to get that sorted. I know.
Well, maybe I might bite this time, as opposed to like last time when the reason why I wasn't crying that thing is Chloe had already said like white flowers. I was like, and somebody said to me like, what are you doing on your phone? I'm like, just looking up her florist. Was there in the moment, do you know what I mean? But I was like, dress good, lovely, you look amazing, babe, right, flowers. I was already spinning on that one. So
to be good, no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Yeah, I mean, I'm less, we all know that I'm completely tone deaf, so I'm very much less worried about the music. Do you know what I mean? As long as something as I'll shuffle around a dance floor too at some point, that'd be great. But I am very excited to go to Venice, though. It's definitely like I've never been, so
There's
really
a lot of people that haven't been to Venice before, actually. So I think it's a place I find hard to describe. It's, you can tell people what it's like, but I just think it's such a unique place. And I think, I'm really happy that so many people can come and make it, because I know they'll be able to have such a fabulous time, aside from the wedding as well. I just think it's a place you couldn't be bored. It's really, a special place to visit. So I know everyone's going to have a great few days.
I also, weirdly, on the train on the way back from Gatwick, after we'd come back from Barcelona, there was a woman who's obviously had just come off another flight too from Venice, and was actually saying to someone, "Oh, Venice is so amazing. It's like being on a movie set, like you know it, and then but at the same time, it's like you can't really believe that you're there because it's part of it so familiar." And I feel like that's a bit like going to New York when you actually look at that skyline. I mean, like, oh my God, it actually exists. You know,
Yeah.
it's a thing. It
I've
actually
seen it
really,
in the movies.
yeah, it's quite movie-esque, isn't it? So I feel like that. I mean, I'd probably want to be on one of those gondolas doing the like a virgin video.
It's so iconic though. There's so many films there, and
Yeah.
just I feel like you have a vision of it in your mind already, like when you go to New York or something. But I think just being there, it's kind of like, I don't know, you just feel like, wow, this is real. It's really a special place. And that is also why we decided to get married there, because it's the place that we've both been where we had that feeling. I just think it's a very unique place. So
How much did you stalk Jeff Bezos's and Lauren Sanchez's wedding?
gosh, I know, I have been stalking. Yeah, well, I have, and I sort of haven't looked at too much because I think but yeah, it did make me feel quite excited that they've chose the same place as well to get
When you've
married.
got all the money in the world, where would you choose to get married? Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy. I mean, I did look at the dresses and things, and I do think mine's better. So.
Do you know what I mean? The thing is though, it is just one of those things which comes back, and I know it's definitely in the eye of the beholder, and it's definitely people's own decision and choices and things like that. But it wouldn't matter what dress that she was wearing. All I just look at is like, look at her and think surgery. Do you know what I mean? And that's all I think. And I think I can't even remember like what podcast I was listening to when somebody said the same thing about Simon Cowell. Like when you look at him, you don't think, gifted Svengali of the music industry. You think plastic surgery, and I think that's the problem. Do you know what I mean? It's like the dress was actually something. Actually, I'd probably put you in. I've put you in polar neck dresses before. I've put you in long sleeve lace and things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
a lot of pressure. I mean, aside from, even since I got engaged and things, I get so many. I don't know if Lauren had work done before, but I think there's things pop up on your phone like get wedding ready, like aesthetic packages and all this stuff, and it is quite sort of, there's a lot of stuff that's thrown at you as a bride actually, which is sort of makes you feel like you need to change for your day. So it is, I do think I can see how people kind of maybe go down that sort of path a little bit, just because I think there's a lot of pressure for you to be absolutely perfect on your wedding day, and you just have to remember why you're getting married, I think, and that your partner loves you for you, and you don't need to be changing your appearance to get married. But I think there's a huge pressure these days, just from social media and just from
and I do. I mean, as I say, that's what I'm saying is I feel like something of a gender traitor saying that's what I saw, because as a 55-year-old woman, you're constantly doing things. I mean, I'm constantly doing that to my chin, wondering if that would be better. Do you know what I mean? Or like, like trying to get rid of that line in the, I say that I don't do it, but we all do that.
Everyone has little things that they notice about
I
themselves.
keep spotting myself here and be like, oh, I've got a new line there that I didn't notice last time I recorded.
Or that I don't like that angle of me and all those things. So I think everyone's got all these little things they think about. But then
as soon as you get married, you kind of start getting all the ads about it, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's just sort of elevated the kind of like, so you maybe think of things a bit more perhaps. But I try not to. I think, just sort of, try not to get too sort of wrapped up in any of that.
But I think it'll be interesting for listeners to hear that even a model thinks that as well. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and we all really need to kind of collectively have a word with ourselves. Do you know what I mean? But it's like,
being a model, sometimes I think you're more, you do tend to sort of care for your skin and everything maybe. And I think, sometimes it is hard. I look back at photographs of when we started working together, nearly 10 years ago, and I think, oh, my don't have as much of a baby face anymore and things like that. But then, you know, it is sort of, there's a lot of things to compare to all the time. But then you have to, well, you know, I'm 10 years older now. I'm not going to look exactly the same as I did. And I just always try to look after myself through diet and exercise and all those things. But it's only natural to look at old pictures of yourself and sort of think, oh, yeah. My skin was looking good.
I do love your what I eat in a day on TikTok, by the way. I love those. And I was like, oh, what shall I make for lunch today? I'll just see what Chloe had.
I made that sort of on a bit of a whim, and it kind of became a little bit of a food diary. I've enjoyed doing it. I haven't done it for a few weeks, actually. I need to get back on.
I really like those. So if I'm kind of like stuck for ideas, I'll like have a little look at what Chloe had for
I hope it
lunch
shows
today.
as well that, you know, you can eat really well and eat quite a lot and still be healthy. And, you know, I'm sort of honest. I eat quite a lot of food, actually, but I'm just active and try to make good choices most of the time. And I think that's what it's about, you know.
Yeah. I should do a bit of that.
Eating healthy. That's the month before, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like I made some really good stuff yesterday, because when I'm cooking for like everyone here, obviously got vegans to feed as well, and I ended up making this really good spicy noodle salad with watermelon and kind of stuff in it, which was really watermelon and cucumber and stuff, with very summery side dish with whole wheat kind of like, and it all looks really beautiful, and like red cabbage slaws, and it's always got, I'm putting extra seeds and nuts and things in it, because the vegans, I'm always worried they're not getting enough, like, you know, vitamins,
protein and everything.
And I just think, and I don't really love the processed fake meat stuff, so I did like really nice kind of like, you know, kind of fried tofu chunks as opposed to halloumi and things like that. So I kind of maybe I should do that too. Because sometimes, and I'm trying to, it's like having, like yesterday, Charlie's away at the moment, but I had the boys, so like Marshy, Harvey and William, and I'm like, I'm always trying to get vegetables in them. It's like having kids. This bean salad I've made, it's got lots of jalapeno in it. Get that? It's very nice and spicy. Do you know what I mean? It's like trying to like sell it to them on the spice level rather than actually like nutritional value.
Here. Joe does not eat many vegetables.
No, Prash says he's allergic to vegetables. But if I cook them into a dish and make it spicy, I mean, he has to eat spicy food. That is one thing about him. He will eat them. And he's like, oh, this is actually quite nice. And I'm like, yeah, and it's healthy as well. But I think if I just gave him a plate of salad, he'd be thinking I was crazy. So
no, it's very good.
We are at 47 minutes. So is there anything else that you want to add, Emma or Chloe, before we go?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just really excited to see the content rollout that we've created in Barcelona, and I think that should be really good. And I think we'll do, you know, maybe you know, we've obviously got more content to create when you do fittings and things like that. And I think we'll start sharing. I mean, it would be quite fun to share some retrospectives of things that you've had.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do Chloe Week next week. So this will come out on the Monday, and then we'll have a few more things throughout the week. So it's going to be a whole week dedicated to Chloe.
There's some slightly dodgy like looks I've put together. There was a couple of the ones I was a bit like, I'm not sure that stood the test of time. But
my mum, I told you, my mum's got all the collages of our shoots.
Oh, has she?
All the Miss Bush shoots. Yeah, she loves them.
That's cute. Oh, and just to say, your mum's wearing Jill Harvey, isn't she, as well?
She is. So she's wearing a Jill Harvey dress. So she came down to London and tried on quite a few, but they made such a fuss of her. She had such a wonderful experience as well. So I think, you know, for her, it's been a really lovely, you know, experience too, to wear a designer dress and, you know, be measured and all that stuff. It's not something she's used to doing very often. So, yeah, she's very excited about that. So it's going to be so lovely. And I'm just, thank you to everyone, really. I mean, Emily, I feel like you've all brought so much excitement to me for my wedding, which I really appreciate. It's been so nice, like, to have you help me with it on the journey of it all. And you definitely have made me feel like very excited about it. And yeah, you've been such a massive part of it all.
It's very exciting. I feel like the only thing that's going to be like this again, but it was a bit like this for Corin's wedding, I have to say, but there was less social media when Corin got married. Do you know what I mean? So there was less of that going on. But I think the only thing that probably would top it would be absolutely George's wedding, probably. should that day happen.
Oh God, can you imagine? That would be huge.
I can feel like I can imagine Georgia in.
Well, you should see what we're designing for her for like stage wear at the moment. So if it's going to be bigger than that, it's going to probably need, it's like Elton John level. Should probably
should be like a little van coming to the ceremony.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Chariot, like Boudica.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is quite interesting for everyone. Like 2 of my work daughters here as well.
Yes.
Right, Emma now goes to choose her own outfits for 4 days of like dressing up in Venice as well. I just need to lose 2 inches off my boobs and then everything will be a lot better.
You're perfect.
I obviously do agree with you, Chloe, absolutely. However, the sizes of clothes that I really want to wear, I need to be 2 inches on my boobs smaller. The rest of it's okay,
Yes.
but yeah, I just need a bit less boob.
ranted about this in the previous episode, so listeners from last week will already have heard Emma's thoughts on this.
I think it's just disheartening across brands. It can really vary. I buy things sometimes I can't even get my leg in, and then some things just hang off you. So it just really depends. I think there's no QC anymore for like high street shopping. The sizes are random.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking forward to sharing you with the world again, Chloe. Thank you very much for doing this with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
Happy chatting.
Right, ladies, we'll see you all soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You'd like to know, wouldn't you? You'd like to know